Sometimes we don't need to become stricter parents. We simply need to become more consistent ones. A huge reaction today followed by non-follow through tomorrow can be confusing for children. Consistency may not feel dramatic, but over time it can make family life much easier. Do you think consistency harden their disciplines? Can we talk about something I think many parents struggle with? Consistency. Because sometimes parenting becomes this cycle where something happens, we get frustrated, we react strongly, we make a big rule, and then a few days later we are tired, busy, or simply not in the mood to deal with it, and the rule disappears. Have definitely wondered whether children sometimes struggle with boundaries, not because the boundary itself is unreasonable, but because they don't know whether we are actually going to follow through. And I think that's where consistency becomes so important. I'm not talking about being perfect. None of us are consistent every single second of every single day. Life happens, we are tired, work happens, children get sick, plans change. But there's something different about a child knowing. Mom says this, and she genuinely meant it. She genuinely mean it. That's different from wondering. Maybe if I keep asking, she will eventually change her mind. And honestly, I think consistency can feel harder in the short term. Because sometimes it's easier to give in. Your child asks again, you say no. They ask again, you explain. They ask again, eventually, you are exhausted and think, fine. And suddenly, everybody is happy for 5 minutes. But then the same situation happens tomorrow. And that's where I think we sometimes create more work for ourselves without realizing it. Consistency doesn't necessarily mean being harsh. It can actually mean saying less. I know you want it. The answer is still no. And then moving on. I also think consistency creates predictability. Children don't have to spend so much energy testing where the boundary is because they gradually learn where it is. And that can make family life calmer. But I'm curious about what other parents think. Because sometimes people hear consistency and think it means never changing your mind. I don't think that's it. That's true. If you make a decision and later realize you were wrong, you can change it. You can say, I've thought about it again and I've changed my mind. That's actually a valuable lesson too. Consistency isn't perfection. It is predictability. It's following through most of the time. It's not making a huge threat when you are angry and then forgetting about it. It's choosing boundaries you can realistically maintain. And perhaps that's the part I find most interesting. Maybe the question isn't how can I become stricter parents? Maybe it's what can I realistically be consistent with? Because the simplest boundaries you can consistently maintain may work better than the biggest consequences you announce but never follow through on. I would love to know what you think. Have you found consistency difficult as a parent? Or do you think consistency has made your parenting easier over time? Let's hear that in the comments.